Okay, let's see. 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think it's not gonna crash. Last time it crashed at 9. I'm not sure why. Let's see. Rapier and Telga were both had access to radios. They were informed about Lieutenant Booth's death. In about a minute, it happened. Also, told about Ireland. Also, Ireland mentioned the fate of the shooters of the Booth's executioner being executed himself. Last way I both took news report rather stoically. Last way I thought he'd go. Rapier, Lopez. Is Lopez? No, Lopez Rapier. Lopez Rapier. Noted. I think Lopez started as a misspelling of Lopez. So I don't remember ever having a character named Lopez in any story so far. Maybe in the one where I had it all set in South America. Probably went through many Latin names, Spanish names in that one. Let's see. I planned that book to be only a few hundred pages. It ended up being 5,000. It ended up being, I think, 10,000 pages. It took me a whole year to write. As you know, a whole year of that and nothing else. That must have been totally out of my mind. Unfortunately, we live in an era where people prefer shorter books, I think. So, you know, gotta learn to do that, I guess. It's not like the 1800s where if a book was short, nobody would give it the time of day. Hell, even the titles of those old books were long. Like Frankenstein, the Postmodern Prometheus, that's probably a short title by the standards of back then. That's why I thought he'd go out. Killed by his own countrymen. Both took. See, you keep missing words. That's one of the main problems with me, missing words. Telga sighed on hearing the Booth's death. Killed over my... Yeah, it was killed over your stuff, but... Killed over my explosion. It's my fault then. Telga noted. I set off the explosive and made that man angry. Set out the explosion. He died. Who died over what I did? Probably wouldn't have had the guts to shoot a woman. Arlen said. Even one you can barely tell is a woman? Telga asked. All these, my attire is, pretty concealing. Well, you can still... Well, you can still... Well, you still have a voice. Ironclad. Ironclad. Ireland thought that you could still tell Helga was a girl based on the womanly dimensions of her form. Her walk was also pretty feminine. Jeremiah Ireland. A lot of Dominique in that way. You can still tell her femininity through the Arkness attire. And Telga's, let's see. Sir, since I got you on the line, Rapier started. Yes, go ahead. I'll reply. The situation is getting a bit dicey. Rapier noted. I think maybe I should take Deza and some other guys and try to hijack some of those Jade Golem suits. It sounded like a risky move to Ireland, seeing as the Golems were probably all occupied and on the move. On the move already. Ireland had never heard of that way. Ireland had never heard of a golem being successfully captured by some commando when it was being piloted. Usually only when the pilot was incapacitated. Okay. I was sure there was some exceptions. Someone like Dummy could just rip open a cockpit and throw the pilot out. Then she could jump in the driver's seat. See, her or some other superhuman. Dummy was far stronger than any golem suit in existence. So Dami would never need to hijack a suit. She'd turn it over to someone else. I guess I approve your plan, Arlen said. Go and see if you can steal a suit. If you can, bring it back here and cause as much destruction to the docks as possible. What about supporting the boys? Rapier asked. Rapier. It's a weird term for a sword, isn't it? I honestly can't think of that word without thinking of rape. But that's the same with a lot of words that have that R-A-P in it. Rape, rapper, grape, drape. Yeah. A lot of rapists drape themselves in concealing garments to disguise their appearance, after all. Jack the Ripper? No, Jack the Raper. No, he didn't. Well, maybe he did. Who knows? He might have been a rapist. I mean, if a person would cut up people into tiny, butcher women like he did, no. Well, what's rape next to that? I mean, he definitely metaphorically raped those women with knives. violated them, especially the last victim, the last alleged victim that was just like dismembered horribly. You see, even in the pictures, you see it's shockingly graphic. I mean, I could imagine what it looked like if it wasn't in black and white. You look up Jack the Ripper's last victim, or no, because he'll probably give you nightmares. And those are just the ones we know about, folks. For all we know, Jack the Ripper killed hundreds of people. Most of the serial killers that are responsible for hundreds of people are like the angels of death, people working in the health industry, where they can just make a slip up and kill somebody with a poison, or, you know, malpractice is everywhere these days. It's ridiculous. Like, I think like a third of the people who die in hospitals die because of malpractice now, so. But supporting our boys. That's your secondary task when you get back. Ireland replied. You sound pretty confident to me. Sir. Hitler nodded. I am. You've never failed me yet. Captain Rapier. Did I call him Lipier? Captain Lipez. That's what I want to check. Captain Rapier. Sounds like the name you'd give a pirate captain in a book. Although people might get confused by the term rapier and think that he was some rapist or something. Like rapier is a synonym for rape. And that's probably the last thing you want. People thinking about your book. That your protagonist is a rapist. Yeah, let's see. I don't expect you to start now. Right, sir. Rapier replied and clicked off. Arlen looked to Deza, who looked... Was it his best friend? I better check. Who looked... seemed to already be over mourning the fallen Booth, who was his best friend. Go find Rapier and go with him. Go find the rapist, sir? No, not the rapist. Ordered Deza. Alan doesn't like rapists. If one of his friends was a rapist, he'd turn him in, probably. Probably. Well, unless the fate of the war somehow depended on him not being arrested, I guess. Of course, you know, back then, values were different. What people consider rape now was not considered rape back then. Like, what was that old thing? Animal House, where the guy is... I never seen Animal House, but there's a scene where a guy debates sleeping with a girl who's drunk or unconscious or something, and you know, that's these days that's considered like just the same as well, you know, it's considered rape. Let's say that it's considered rape, just on par with any more dramatic rape, like when the woman is like just grabbed into an alley and some animal pulls her clothes off and stuff. When I see scenes like that in a movie, I'm like, oh, a shame she doesn't have superpowers. She could smash that fucker right in the face. Or someone's superpower shows up, or some hero, something like, I don't know, like in Death Wish. Some random vigilante comes and stops the rapist. I'll find the rapier and go with him. Right, sir. Teza replied and saluted. Alan returned the salute and watched as a head off. Arlen got on the horn. Arlen then got on the horn with Telga. Keep up the fire, Telga, Alan ordered. Knock out the heaviest stuff coming our way. Right, Captain. Telga replied. Colonel is a good rank for this character. I think Colonel is as high as you can get, while still being able to run around in the field and shoot at people, because if you're a general and you do that, it's kind of, I don't know, it becomes stupid in a way, I don't know. A general is supposed to be in the rear with the gear, except maybe in a Napoleonic Wars and stuff. Then you are kind of expected to be right there. Let's see. I moved up with his comrades, getting in a few dozen shootouts. And a few shootouts with some Jade squads. He eventually showed up, making a dramatic entrance after grenading a trio of Jade infantry into oblivion. We put holes in the survivors. We put a few bursts into one of the survivors, into the only survivor of the trio. Another few ships were damaged. A few ships were ships went up in flames thanks to limpet mines attached to the hulls. They were knocked out for good, not merely damaged. There were still a dozen ships left. Arlen wasn't sure if Jade weapons were if a golem thought of what's his name? Rapier. How can I forget a guy named Rape? Let's see, Ireland thought of Rapier again. Him showing up in some special golem suit. I guess all golem suits would be special by default, right? I mean... yeah, I mean a 20-meter tall giant armor suit. Something out of an anime. That's special in our time. Maybe it won't be so much in the future. Who knows, right? Maybe who knows if in 1,000 years we'll have colonized space, or we'll be back in the caves playing rocks together, you know? Who knows? I'd prefer the former to the latter. That's latter, not ladder. Showing up in some golem suit with a regular 80 millimeter ITT 46 launcher. Would that be enough? Semi-auto. Would that be enough to crack a ship? I recall the one month war where special naval J model golems. Special for Jade battleships. Often had a few special naval golems on deck with much more powerful weapons, nicknamed hull crackers, because they could pierce and crack up the hulls of enemy ships in a few shots. Ireland wasn't part of any naval battle in the 1 month war, or infantry. But he heard lots of horror stories. It sounded like the naval war of the first months was beyond apocalyptic. And on that cheerful note, let's sign off here, folks. See ya.